All right, there's a whole chapter in the book about systems of equations. And the main goal for that is to find where the equations cross. Every single problem has two equations in it, and you're trying to figure out what point the two equations have in common. So there's three ways to do it. You can solve by graphing, substitution, or elimination. So the handout reviews all three ways. This was done in November in this classroom.
Wait, we already did this?
November, yep. Not these exact questions, but this topic was covered between Thanksgiving and the winter holiday. All right, I imagine that this second line is easier for you to graph because it looks like y equals mx plus b. You begin at 0, -2, and then you move 2 up and 1 right. So I'll wait until everybody has that one attempted before I talk about the strategy for the top one.
Oh, this is what you.
So it's two different equations. We're actually going to graph the bottom equation first because it's in the right form of y equals mx plus b. You don't need one though. You didn't really need one yesterday. I probably regretted that. Up 2 over 1.
Alright.
That's where you begin. You begin at the ordered pairs, 0, -2. No, you can ignore it.
The second one, we put a dot at 0, -2.
Yep. And then you move up 2 over 1. Where are you doing it?
The other one?
Okay.
So it'd be a horizontal line? Oh, so I'll only move up 2 over 1 on the first two. I got it.
Wait, what's the one on top? What are we doing?
What are we going to do with the one on top? First, let's see who can get the one I've highlighted correct. So, my big question for you is, did you start in the right place? Take a look. You're right.
I did not start in the right place.
A lot of people are starting here on the x-axis, but the b is on the y-axis. It's called a y-intercept. So if you put your point here, erase it, put it here. Straight lines start on the y-intercept. Y equals mx plus b does anyway. And from here, you count up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. So this -2 is on the y-axis. Up 2, right 1. I'm just asking. I've seen everybody else's. Okay, up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. And then if you remember the zombie handout, it's important that you can't just extend one way, extend the other way. So now I'm going to go the opposite way. Down and left. Down and left. And that's what it should look like. Okay, now going to the first line. X plus y equals 4. There's two strategies. I know some people in this room will rewrite it so that y is alone. Others might try to graph using intercepts. So if it's not where y is alone, it's not y equals mx plus b, you can graph using intercepts.
So I put them in corners.
I'm going to show a little bit of work here for x and y intercepts. X and y intercepts is where you plug in x equals 0 and solve it. You plug in y equals 0 and solve it. That gives you a point on both axes that you can connect. The issue is a lot of people mix these two strategies up. They combine them, and then it doesn't come out right. So if I do x equals 0, it would be 0 plus y equals 4, which means y equals 4, and we have a point at 0, 4. If I do y equals 0, it would be x plus 0 equals 4, x equals 4, 4 equals 0. So now that we've used the who remembers plugging the 0 in for both and solving it? You guys all did really well at it, but then when you had to do slope and the zeros on the same paper, it got mixed up. So two different strategies. So now to graph this, I'll do a line at, or a point at 4, 0 and 0, 4. This is preparing you for the exam on the 8th, and you can't use anything. Nothing at all. No. When was the last time you were here? Thursday. So today's Wednesday. Tuesday. So we did like a practice exam on big ideas. It was 20 questions, and we've only gone through 8. We're gonna go through more today.
You can write me a book.
And then yesterday, there's a video posted. This is the exact paper you'll have during the exam. So we like highlighted like all the helpful parts, like we give you all these lines on the exam day. This is the paper you have. So we took notes on it, detailed it on the exam, like that. So if you look at the video I posted yesterday, you can fill that out. And I am grading it, so it's gonna be nice for this. So you can't use the one we wrote on exam day, but they'll give you a blank one. Remember it, it can help you. All right, so what's the answer to the question? It's supposed to be where they intersect. Kaden, you said you saw it?
I think so.
Where? What is it?
It's it's on the 3 and the 3 up.
See, I think it's 2, 2.
I guess my lines are a little off.
Yeah, when I look at mine, they crossed at 2, 2. Does anybody else's cross at 2, 2?
The one right there.
Yeah, let's point out where 2, 2 is. Well, it is pretty small, I know. So here at 2, 2, x is 2, y is 2. This is the point of intersection. And that's what our mission was. In a system, you're trying to figure out where will the two lines cross. And then that's your answer. So if two lines never cross, there's no solution. So if you end up with a system of parallel lines, there's no solution, they don't cross. Sometimes you'll have it where they end up being both the same line. And that would be infinite solution if it was completely the same line. Questions on graphing and finding the point of intersection? Yes. It doesn't really matter. The whole point was just to see where they cross. So my intercepts are at 4 and 4. Four, 0, and 0, 4. All right, we are going to do that again, but without graphing. So, what did I say here? Yeah, we're doing 1 through 3, maybe. We might just stop at number 2. All right, so, notice the first one says solve by graphing. This one says solve using substitution, and this one says solve using elimination. So, same equations though. So, multiple methods of doing the same thing. So, substitute means to replace, right? Maybe they're taking all the papers off the wall. There's like papers like all over the wall. Like, whoa.
Yeah, probably doing that.
I'm scraping the tape off or something. All right, so what can we replace? All right, so this bottom sentence, I read it as y is 2x minus 2 because an equal sign and an is the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the y of the top one and I'm going to completely kick it out. It's getting removed. And I'm going to put a substitute in.
Which one are you doing?
I'm going to put 2x minus 2 in. And that's why it's called substitution. And sometimes you can plug in for x, and sometimes you can plug in for y. It's not like we always kick the y out. Sometimes we kick the x out. You can substitute anything. Sometimes it's m and n. Okay, so my new equation would be x plus 2x minus 2 equals 4. So this y was removed and this expression went in as a substitute because y is the same as that. That's what an equal sign means, so you can do it. That is substitution. Now you can solve that. Now you can find x. So there's nothing in front of the parentheses. That means we don't need to distribute. So this is y plus 2x minus 2 equals 4. And then we can combine like terms. They're lost. They can just do this over and over and over again. He's talking about the noise. Skipping?
Yeah, like you're skipping class and right or something.
That's stupid.
No, it's like directly on the other side of this wire. There's a teacher in there. No, it's definitely in that room, in my opinion. Shouldn't say definitely.
It was above us. That would make sense.
Feel the vibrations in the wall, but
No, we usually get noise from the bar. Do not like at the beginning of the class. Thanks, you guys are lining the two.
Yes, James. Add the 2 next. Add the 2 next. Good job. And that's 3x equals 6.
Oh my gosh!
And then divide. Divide by 3. X equals 2. Nice. Do you know what I'm going to write here? I'm going to write don't stop.
Don't stop, don't.
Must find y. All right, so when you're solving a system, you're looking for x and y. If they give you 2 equations, That means you can find both x and y. So don't stop. Find y. What can we do to find y?
Replace x with 2.
Yep, replace x with 2, and then you can find y, and then you're done the problem. So you do like another substitution. Now that you know x, you'll be able to find y. So you can problem solve and pick where you want to plug your 2 in. I'm going to plug my x equals 2 in right to the original problem, right where x is. So we're going to do 2 plus y equals 4. So I pretty much am now kicking the x out and putting a 2 in. And y equals 2. So now we found x. We use x to find y. And I can write it as an ordered pair, 2 comma 2. And guess what? That's the exact same answer we got in number 1. Because we were doing the same thing. We're finding where the lines cross using a different method. Now, some people like graphing, but if the answer was a decimal, it would be really hard to figure out with the graph. And a lot of times the substitution method is just more doable. So, who thinks they might like the substitution better than graphing? Sometimes we make a mistake with slope, and that ruins it, you know? All right, the last one for today, and then we'll get back into the practice exam questions, is elimination. So I have some pointers here. Birth equations. Both equations must match up in order to do elimination. So like the x's and the y's usually have to be on the same side. It has to be x over x, y over y, equal over equal, constant over constant. They're supposed to stack. And these ones don't stack. So I think what we'll do is rearrange the second one so that the x and the y are both on the left side of the equal. So I'm going to subtract this 2x to the other side. And it'll look like negative 2x plus y equals negative 2. Yeah. So the reason I moved it is so that the problems can stack. So now I'm going to rewrite the problem. I can wait. Sorry.
Do you think they're going to pass in this class?
I'm hoping you all do. Genuinely. Could have done. Move on with your life. It's never like something that can be predicted like year after year. Like some people are surprised they pass, and then some people will really work hard or disappointed they don't. And that's just the way it is. But it's not a big deal actually, since they changed the policy. Everyone's gonna go to geometry, get a chance to pass again in the fall. So try not to stress about it. One thing, as long as you're stressed enough to prepare, that's appropriate. But if you're stressed beyond that, that's gonna, make you not do as well. So you just want to be a little bit stressed so that you want to study and prepare, but not a lot of stress. Yeah, come back. You never know. I could be teaching geometry next year. You never know. You'll love your geometry teachers.
Who teaches geometry?
If I don't,
They're all good.
still be able to graduate because if everyone's going to geometry next year.
You take it over and over again until you pass it. Like
Do you have
so.
to retake the class though?
No,
Taking algebra.
if you failed the quarters, you have to get credit for the quarters. Yeah, you have to pass the actual classwork. How it works is your semester grade is quarter 3, quarter 4 is 70%, and then your exam grade is worth 30%. And since it's curved, that really helps some people. Yeah, it is. That's what we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, but someone wasn't here.
If you get around a 50%, there's a good chance you'll pass. Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, yeah. So you can get like, and then also, so you know, it's adaptive. So you can't skip questions. You have to answer each one, and then it'll get easier or harder as you go through. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean you're doing like not pass bad. You might be like on that level 3, just not like a level 5, you know? So like, don't question yourself. Just take each question and answer them to the best of your ability. Don't skip is the point.
But so you're gonna know like what time we take it. Like,
Yeah, you'll have your score within like 48 hours. Yeah, if not immediately.
That's way quicker than the ELA one. They're saying you have to wait all the way until September.
Yeah, no, this one's right away.
Yeah.
Every day we keep getting distracted with these questions. I'm going to be informed, but really just do your best, and then whatever happens, happens. It's not really that serious. Okay, so we got x plus y equals 4 over negative 2x plus y equals negative 2. Now, for eliminations to work, the equations must match up. They must line up, I guess I should say, like I just did with x over x and y over y. And you also must have opposites. So what do you want to make opposite? Do you want to make the x's opposite or the y's opposite? We'll go with Nolan. You want opposite x's or opposite y's? Y's. So we have a positive y and a positive y. How can we make them opposite? There's two options. You can either subtract down or multiply the whole bottom by negative 1. So if we multiply this whole bottom by negative 1, you'd have a negative y. And it's a positive y and a negative y. Or if you want opposite x's, you could just multiply the whole top by 2. So what do you guys want to do? You want to multiply the top by 2? Or do you want to do the bottom by negative 1? Raise your hand if you want to do the top by 2. Raise your hand if you want to do the bottom by negative 1. Yeah, negatives are a little bit scary. Same. All right. So let's multiply the whole top by 2.
Will there ever be an equation where we have to go negative? Or
I mean, no, you can always pick. Like sometimes it might be like multiply the top by negative 2. Yeah. You're gonna keep this just until we get to number 4. We're stopping after this problem for today. So we're distributing a 2 to the whole bottom so that we have opposites. And then you add down. And what will happen is the opposites will be eliminated. That's why it's called elimination. Yes, sorry, I was trying to zoom. There it is. Vladimir, did you do it? All right, so I'm going to add down 8 plus a negative 2 is 6, equal sign. 2y plus y is 3y's. 2x minus 2x, eliminated. That's why you make the opposite, so that it eliminates like that. And now you can solve what's left. Divide by 3, and now there it is, y equals 2. I like the substitution method the best, but elimination's nice. this was a challenging elimination because first we had to rearrange, then we had to multiply to make opposites. So some eliminations are a little easier than this one. All right, we're not going to stop. Don't stop with y, must find x. For any system of equations, you need to find the point they cross. You need x and y. So I'm going to take this y equals 2, and I'm going to put it right back to the original problem to find x.
And all these colors are good.
I know, it's a little too much. It's a little too much for sure.
Yeah, epilepsy, that's the.
X plus 2 equals 4. X equals 2. So there we are again at the same solution, 2, 2. That's the same point we found in number 1. It's the same point we found in number 2. It's the same problem solved in a different way. In this problem, how did I find x equals 2? I used this y equals 2. And then put it in. All right, everybody go into Big Ideas Math, and let's go through some more practice exam questions. You're going to keep it. Tomorrow we're going to start class number 4. Tomorrow we're going to do number 4, so keep it. There's 2 things you have that I'm still going to look for. The reference sheet and this handout. I can't believe this ROTC thing isn't done yet.
Oh, it's gonna go into the end of the period.
For the roller coaster, remember like, I couldn't do it. I have a for it.
Yeah.
Second, I'll go.
I mean, it was open for the whole class period. Just weren't doing it.
No, what house?
Oh, it never opened up for you. Yeah. Okay, I'll open that. You want to do it right now, or let's do the exam questions. Let's do it after the 8th. Remind me, and we'll do it then. Hold on. I'll put a star in for now. Or if we have like a independent work day, you can do it. All right, I believe we left off yesterday. It was either number 8 or number 12. Get out the piece of paper you were working with yesterday. Number 4, you guys did a good job with that. We did factoring. Remember yesterday you did some problems on paper? We left off with this one, and I said there's a cheat code here. Just plug in X, plug in Y, and that will help you figure out which multiple choice matches. And then we got to this one. We finished 7.
Did we? Yeah.
No, I mean I did.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you rent a jet ski. The jet ski costs $60 plus $5 per hour. Immediately, I have an equation in my mind from that first sentence. It's the cost is 5x plus 60. All right, the x goes with the per, right? Whenever you see per, that's where you put your x. Your jet ski is $60, $5 per hour. Do you guys need math class to understand this? No. You guys can all look up online. If it's $60 and $5 per hour, you can figure out how much it's going to cost you. Like, so please, when you read a problem like this, don't think, well, what if you're doing math class? Feel free to think about real life, how much it's going to cost. Yeah. Can you see it at least? Can you see the questions? Go to past or overdue. Okay, create a graph that represents the relationship. It's like Form J practice exam.
What's the only one that says assessment?
It would be in the.
Oh, it says assessments. Yeah, I did auto submit. So right off the bat, you have to pay $60. So X is hours and Y is cost. So at 0 hours, you have that $60 fee. A lot of things in life work like that. You have to pay an initial cost, and then however long you have it, they charge you more. So right off the bat, a dot at 60. James, is that a phone? You got your dot at 60? Yes. Okay, I'm showing you how to get it right.
It's.
Will you help her? So you can't like review. Well, what does that have to do with James?
I'm going to calculate it.
No. Okay. Do you want to sit here so you can see the problem?
I can see it.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Just do that paper with me.
Yeah.
This is number 8. You can. Yep, everyone's drawing the graph actually.
It's fun on paper.
Probably maybe 3 people got it right. They don't have to do it. The rest, everyone's drawing it on paper. Everybody draw it on paper. All right. So at 0 hours, you're charged $60. So after 1 hour, how much is it costing you?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah. After 1 hour, how much does it cost you?
Oh, so sorry.
So you've already paid 60. You add 5 more. So after 1 hour, you're at 65. After 2 hours, how much does it cost you? 70, 75, 80, 85, right?
Oh, that's a
No, it says that you're only allowed to get it for 3 hours. So I'm actually going to erase and make sure I only go through hour 3.
The answer is 60 and 75.
Yeah, and look at my picture. I can see that. See, when I go to hour 3, I'm at $75. My last point is at $3.75. So this says, what is appropriate range for the given situation? If you remember domain and range is Y values. So when it's talking about range, it's not talking about it is talking about minimum and maximum, but it's talking about Y values specifically. So you're starting at $60 and you are only going to go up through 75 because it says the max you can rent it is 3 hours. Hey, Maurice, you got this one right? Let me take it. You definitely got this one right when we covered it, I bet. 60 to 75. That's what you said, James, is the right answer? Yeah. That's not too hard. Just adding 5. Right?
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Well, that's why you gotta make sure you just think about it in real life terms instead of all the pressure of all the things we've done. A lot of the things we've done might be more difficult than some of the questions, so be open-minded to it. Are we done with question number 8? All right, this one is in point slope form. It'll have to be rewritten. Actually, maybe there's a shortcut here. Ooh, I think there might be a shortcut.
You want number 9?
No, there's not a shortcut. Number 9, I'm going to rewrite this. So I'm going to distribute the negative 3. So by minus 1 is greater than or equal to 3x plus 3. And then I'll add the 1 over. And I get y is greater than 3x plus 4. So I know my line should begin at 0, 4. Which graph begins at 0, 4? It's this one, bottom left, yeah. And so I had to use distributive property. I had to add 1 over. And then I really just had to understand what a y-intercept is. And that's the 4th problem today that we've talked about where you begin on a line. And y equals mx plus a form. Yeah. Yeah, those positive negatives. Negative times negative is the positive. Now, I want to tell you, if it had been like this, I want to remind you that if there was no equal line underneath it, that would have been a dash line. You guys remember that? You probably don't. We did it pretty quick. So if it's just this without the equal, you dash it. So some multiple choice questions will be which one should you use, dash or line, or in big ideas, sometimes you had to graph them and you had to select did you want a dash or a solid line. Let's do number 10. Dash or half line. Oh, good. This is a good one. Like good and complicated. Oh, actually, this one. Yeah, this one we really did not do in class. So this is one of those ones you see it, you give your best guess, and then you move on. You will see questions on your exam that were not covered. I would think so, yeah. Completing the square. Completing the square is kind of difficult for algebra 2. It's more of an algebra 2 topic, but it is in the curriculum. It could show up on your exam. Those are your answers. -2 plus and minus the square root of 1. The one part of this question that we did go over for context clues would be rewriting this in factored form. When we covered this, it would be what will multiply to C and add to B. So in this case, it's what will multiply to 4 and add to 4, and it would be 2 times 2. And so right here, it went from x squared plus 4x plus 4 to x plus 2 times x plus 2. So that's the one part of this equation that we did go over. So 10 was your super challenge question in that practice exam. Okay. Let's just skip it. Okay, it was -2 plus or minus plus the square root of 79, -2 minus the square root of 79. I'd rather spend more time on this, identifying this graph. And the one highlighted isn't necessarily the right answer.
I got that. That's what I did.
You got this one right? How'd you get that right?
I just did the corners.
Oh, okay.
It's a square. There's corners, all of them are
You guys, does anyone remember me telling you C is a y-intercept? C is a y-intercept. So look, -4 is supposed to be the y-intercept. I think there's only one graph with -4 as the y-intercept. So this question is based on your knowledge of C, y-intercept. Also, it opens down. So the fact that there is a negative in front means you should have right away done the process of elimination and gotten rid of the two that point up. So then it was one of those two. The cheat code is to pick a point and plug a point in and see if it's true or false. So who else got this one? Anybody else? Okay, a couple of you. Okay, ready to answer. And we did this recently, within the last month or so. So that's good. Vertex form. Vertex form is on your reference sheet, but it doesn't tell you which one is vertex form. It's the one in the middle, right, with the H and the K. So whenever it says form, take a minute and look at your reference sheet because that might help you. All right, so identify vertex. So we need the axis of symmetry. And in this problem, we have A is 1, B is -2, C is 3. Axis of symmetry is -b over 2 times A. So that's 2 over 2, which is 1. The axis of symmetry is 1. So I know my first value is a 1. Now, how do we find that other point in the vertex? You plug it in. So now we take that 1 and plug it in. We plug it in there, and we plug it in there. So that would be 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 3. And we get a 2 out. So y equals 2. So the vertex is 1, 2. And then I have to look at this here vertex form, which was x minus h squared plus k. And I'll do x minus 1 squared plus 2. And those should be the answers you're saying. Hello? Hi. Sure. Yeah, sure. Okay, bye. All right. If your parents are asking you, like, hey, what are you supposed to be doing in math to prepare for your exam? What are you going to tell them? I got no homework? Is that what you want to say?
No, you're supposed to look at this.
You can. I mean, but okay. Oh, you can't get a skills trainer? What I want you to do is skills trainer. Okay? If your parents are making you prepare or you intrinsically want a little more math practice, I'm not giving you homework, I know. Today, anyway. Go into skills trainer and practice on there. I will be assigning you a certain number of topics so you can get started on that. James, can you access Khan Academy? Take your book. Practice some problems from your book. Yeah. So please don't feel like you have no resources at home to prepare. You can do skills training for big math, or you can do practice problems in your textbook.
Kind of interrupted.